What's going on? It's Fizz. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I wanted to talk about practice and an actual way to go about it to achieve whatever you want, your goals. And pretty much everything in life is practice. Even people who are, performing their hit single in, maybe in a golf tournament against the highest people, bodybuilders, artists, everything is made of practice. That's just how it is. You're always going to evolve, adapt, or change in that particular area. So don't think this is the end, unless you want it to be. But this practice will, an artist drawing pictures, whatever he's using, he might take that and film movies and be creative and somehow incorporate that practice you got from drawing to that. Like I said, everything is practice, and this is where a lot of people lack. They're not consistent with the practice, because what you want to do ultimately is productivity. It's not necessarily, though I am a quality over quantity type of person, in today's modern world, the fast-paced, fast food, telecommunication, how fast, the easy access, everybody wants things immediately, and they want it done as fast as possible, for the most part. And a lot of people, this could draw anxiety, embarrassment, and lack motivation, and this ultimately could make things harder. But when we talk about practice, it's about doing things efficiently. The masters who get stuff done and who you see in the public eye, they do things super fast, such as someone who meditates. Someone might have meditated all the time, but he or she doesn't meditate anymore. He or she still does, but it's not hours. Let's say they were doing 8 hours a day, or maybe just 4 or 6. Now they've got it down to pinpoint where they only need it for 15 minutes. It's about your focus in the quality of the time that you're being productive. And this is gonna, I just made a video about the focus, but this kind of ties into it. But I also want to give like a really good example. And it's just, if someone can draw 5 paintings in an hour, and someone else takes a whole day to draw a painting, whatever that may be. Now, which one is better? Which one's gonna? They're both neutral at the end of the day. Not one's the 5 paintings that someone drew compared to the one that another person drew. And obviously there's going to be bigger pictures, smaller pictures, and different ways of going, different mediums of going about it. These people, though, that are doing this, the person who does 5 paintings in, let's say, an hour compared to one in a whole day, he or she is, he's exploring different pictures, different ideas, different colors, different textures, just whole, as compared to someone who's focused on one. Now, there's nothing wrong with focusing on one, but when it comes to practice, you don't necessarily want to take a long time. You don't want to bog down. You want to keep moving. You want to keep pushing. Not saying you have to necessarily rush it, but in today's world, you want to have quality and quantity. So you want to keep on coming. Especially people, it doesn't even really matter. When it comes, like I said, I am a qualitative person, but when you come out quantity, people love it. It's just as simple as it is. Just imagine your favorite band, instead of releasing one album a year, they release five, and you're like, wow, I can't. You just keep going. You want to hear more. It is consumerism and how it works. And another example would be a gymnast who, a gymnast has to keep spending hours and hours. But eventually, that gymnast, once they get, it down point, they don't need to practice as much anymore. They master it. This is where mastering comes in. Somebody like Bruce Lee, who's a famous actor and, mixed martial artist, he at one point probably didn't need to practice anymore because he has it down packed. And then when he did practice, or when the gymnast practice, the artist practice, they know what they're looking for. They know how to do it, and they get it done. Such in the meantime, it's they can do other things, and then boom, they're getting more creative and doing other things and have more energy. And you don't want to spend too much energy on one thing. It's better to break things up in the smaller increments. Studying for 2 hours is not the same for studying 3 to 4 times for 15 minutes. I guarantee the person, most likely, the probability, the person who studies 3 to 4 times for 15 minutes throughout the day of the course is going to be, it's going to be easier. He's going to know more because you keep picking it back up again. It's kind of like you have to fall to get back up again. The more times you fall, the more you learn and the better you are. That's usually how leaders or masters or presidents, prime ministers, or anybody that's a celebrity or famous or just real sturdy and know what they're doing. It could be construction, it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be famous or a celebrity. But those are good things. Now, I want to talk about the time that I practiced, and this is a great example, though this is a little kind of more extreme. I went to masonry school. It was only for 10 weeks, but every day it's an 8-hour shift. It's for free basically, and you did masonry for even though it was just the basics, I did 40 hours a week. Now, the first hour we talked, and of course I think there was like a 30-minute break, but other than that, we were doing masonry. Now, me, I'm a super slow person when it comes to things, depending on what it is, but usually I'm super slower than everyone else. And at this, subject, I was super slower than everyone else. But I also, by the 10 weeks, the people that came in with me at the same time, a lot of people dropped out, or a decent amount of them, but the people who came with me all dropped out. I was the slowest person, probably. I became the fastest person in here, like faster than everybody. I learned it so good, and then, felt good, and then I was teaching. But we did this 8 hours for 10 weeks. I guarantee you, I know 8 hours is a long time, and it is like a work shift, but that's what I was doing at the time. But I learned this skill, like, in 10 weeks. If anybody it doesn't have to be 8 hours, but a certain amount of time every day, they're going to pick it up whether they want to or not, basically. And this is a prime example. I learned it. And it was a fishy place. They didn't like to acknowledge, I mean, some people did, that I beat everybody, because there were like races and stuff, and I never missed a day either. I was there every day. Everyone else missed a day. Other people dropped out. And yeah, it was just kind of, it was kind of racist because most of them were black people. And they just didn't see me as, even though I beat all the people, and I mean, it was just self-evident. I was doing it better than all of them. I'm not bragging or anything. They just like neglected me, but that happened a lot to me anyway. Throughout history. But this just goes to show I became the fastest one, the best one out of everybody. I was the slowest. I could not get it. Maybe it was frustrating or something, but I got it, and I was better than everyone in there. So this is a perfect example. You just keep practicing, and then boom, you're gonna get there. It's super easy, and this is evident. But you have to put in the practice, the work, that is, whatever it is, however you want to classify it, and you'll get it. This is just a prime example. It doesn't have to be 8 hours a day, because I understand what's going on, and this might not be necessarily your main thing, or you might have another job or something else, a family or something else to do. But then again, what are you going after? What are you putting your time in? What do you really want? This is something you need to ask yourself. Where's your heart? Because when you do something when you put practice in and really want to do it, then it's not going to seem like work, and you're going to really want to do it, and time's going to fly, and you're going to become a master. Most people, like Bruce Lee, or people who meditate, artists, gymnasts, anybody, like I said, when it comes to productivity, they need super minimal amounts now because they're so productive at it, and then they can do a bunch of other things and then expand. Entrepreneurs. But when you do these things, there you go. It's all about the practice. Whatever you want to do, it just takes practice, and you become whoever you want. You just got to set forth the practice, which is linked to my other video, Focused. All my videos are the same. This is Fizz. Stay tuned for more videos. This was a real good one. If you have any questions or comments, leave it below. Sub to the channel. Check out some of my other videos. Give it a like, share. Have a nice day. Yeah, I didn't have the best night last night. It was really bad. We're not going to get into that. I just got really sick. Really sick. But thanks for tuning in. Have a nice day.